everybody, and welcome back. It is time once again for Joy's Book Club, and Janine Birkenfeld is here. She is the Youth Services Manager over at the Schweitzer Brentwood branch. Welcome, how are you?
Well, thank you, Joy. I'm great. So excited to be here today.
I am excited for you to show us what you brought us. 3 books. Now, the first one on the list we're going to talk about, Ruth Reichel, who used to be the editor-in-chief at Gourmet magazine, which is not published anymore, and I miss Gourmet. I loved Gourmet.
I know. So, yeah, I brought 3 memoirs today.
Gotcha.
And so this is a memoir for all the foodies
Save
among
Me the
us.
Plums, it's called. Save Me the Plums. Okay, tell me about that one.
So, Save Me the Plums is, like I said, for foodies. I mean, it's all about a behind-the-scenes look at food writing, a career in food writing, and the kind of the gilded age of print journalism.
Yeah.
You know, which is, you know, sadly, magazine journalism is not what it once was.
Right.
But you really get an inside look at what it's like to eat and write about food for a living.
She's an incredibly interesting woman. I actually met her once very, very briefly. There was a thing they called the Gourmet Institute, and I'm going back a long way, but this was while the magazine was still being published, and the most wonderful photos. And they did it for like 2 years, and then the magazine went south. But she wrote a book called Comfort Me with Apples, which I have, and I love her. I'm glad to see she's still writing. I didn't realize she was.
She is a delightful writer. The book is peppered with some of her favorite recipes as well, which really adds a nice touch.
Very good. All right, what's book number 2 today?
So book number 2 is Hollywood Park here on the left, and
okay.
it's the most emotionally hard-hitting memoir that I brought today, but the writing is so good. It's written by Mike Jolet. He's a renowned writer. He is a regular contributor on NPR.
Okay.
He's also a musician. He's the front runner of an indie rock band called the Airborne Toxic Event. And he had a very tumultuous childhood. He was born into a cult, into the famous 1970s California Synanon cult, and lived there until the age of 5. Basically didn't have a relationship with his parents at all because the cult dictated that all children should be raised by kind of cult-appointed surrogates.
This sounds like a Netflix documentary in the making, doesn't it?
This would be a good movie, but it is, the writing is very lyrical. And even though Jolet had a very chaotic childhood, he remains close to his father, who is a stable influence in his life, and he kind of, you know, the resilience of his spirit, it just, you know, helps him rise to the top. He graduates from Stanford. He explores writing and music as a means of healing. Okay. And his insights about childhood trauma and alcoholism and drug abuse and just the power, the healing power of art and love. Yeah. Maybe very cathartic for him to write this book, it sounds like. It's very much so. I can't recommend it enough. It's just so well written, and it's obvious he will write more. He's a very good writer.
Amazing, very talented. All right, that's 2 winners out of 3. They always bring us winners, right? But another one, A Very Punchable Face, which is hysterical, a memoir by Colin Jost. Didn't know Colin Jost had written anything.
Right.
Where have I been?
Well, Colin Jost, I wasn't that familiar with him either, but on the recommendation of a colleague, I picked this book up. Colin Jost is a head writer on Saturday Night Live.
Yes,
has been there
funny.
since like 2005. And he's also married to Scarlett Johansson.
He is.
A very interesting tidbit. But this book is just, if you like comedy and you're interested in learning a little bit about behind the scenes at SNL and how they operate, he just peppers the story with hilarious anecdotes from his life, including a time that Jimmy Buffett saved his life while surfing.
What?
Yeah. And a time when an insect laid eggs in his leg.
Oh my gosh.
So all of this is recounted with lots of self-deprecating humor, and
he's a funny guy.
Yeah, I ended the book just feeling very endearing towards him, and even though he has these exasperatingly handsome chiseled cheekbones and a very punchable face.
It's still a very punchable face. All right, well, As always, there are programs for veterans, there are author chats, brown bag, travelogue, lunch events at the library. You can find schedules at thelibrary.org. Janine, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joy.
3 for 3 right there. Good one.